Hey everybody, it's Brian Prof. I'm
Ah,
going to keep that in there. Hey everybody, it's Brian Poth from the Source LGBT Plus Center. And today we are talking to Caity Meader from Family Services of Tulare County. Hi,
hey
Caity.
everyone. Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Living the dream.
Yeah.
Just taking it day to day like everyone else.
So I see you're in your office today.
I am. I am in the office today. A few of us are. We've been sort of shut down other than our emergency essential services like our domestic violence and sexual assault hotlines for about the past week, but we've been working behind the scenes to transition services to be more virtual. So we're anticipating, we're getting a few things wrapped up in the office, but we want to be good stewards. So we're going to be doing social distancing and providing our services virtually starting next Tuesday.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness for Zoom and all these products that were there the whole time, right?
I
And
feel so silly that we never did some of this stuff before. In all
yeah,
honesty, I'm not as inept as I thought
yeah, it's good. I
when
think
it
we've
comes to
all
this
learned
stuff.
a lot of like ways to communicate now, and I will certainly be adjusting when we go back to normal, like maybe scheduling meetings and stuff,
Yeah,
one-on-one meetings with people, so I don't have to
totally.
travel so much, and
Yeah.
it's a little greener and
Mm-hmm.
it saves some time and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But maybe by
definitely.
then we'll really want face-to-face contact.
I was thinking that on when I was driving here this morning, I just was like, gosh, what I wouldn't give to like hug my friends right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not a hugger, so they'll probably all think that I really lost it, but gosh,
Yeah.
just mhm,
Yeah.
missing that, missing that. I know that's hard for a lot of folks right now.
So I wanted to introduce you to folks maybe that follow our page that might not know what you do, and
Mhm.
and talk about some of the programs. But what prompted it was a post that I saw online, and Nick Vargas saw it as well and said, "Hey,
Mm.
we really need to talk to Caity about this concept of sheltering in place when maybe the place that you live or the place that you're staying isn't a safe place to shelter in for whatever reason."
Right.
So can you talk a little bit about that and how Family Services of Tulare County is addressing that issue specifically?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think we realized pretty early on, as folks started spending more and more time at home, a lot of our work is around this concept of safe homes. So trying to intervene and support families where there's violence or abuse in the home. And so now we've got these orders, essentially, these shelter in place, shelter at home orders from the government, and we're asking people to practice social distancing by staying home when home is not necessarily a safe place for them. So that definitely presents greater challenges for victims of domestic violence when they're forced to stay home and in proximity to an abuser. That can create an even bigger situation where their safety can be compromised. So we're really looking for creative ways to stay in touch with people. Like I mentioned, our hotline is still operational, but we know that that also can be a challenge, that maybe there's not an opportunity for people to make a safe phone call. So we are responding to folks actively on social media and helping them, because we want to encourage them to update or alter their own safety plan or create one if necessary. And we have seen a drop in the volume of calls we're getting, but we are still here. We are still taking folks who need to come into shelter. So we're still available. We want folks to know that.
That's great.
Hmm.
So you mentioned the shelter,
Hmm.
and can you talk a little bit about that? And the other, you do lots of really great stuff. It's not just one thing that Family Services does. So, but I
Sure.
really dig the shelter work that you do
Yeah.
because you shelter folks that sometimes can't find shelter other places.
we really have tried to be as inclusive and open as we possibly can. I know that there are sometimes restrictions on shelter. Really, the only restriction that we have related to our shelter is whether someone has been a victim of domestic violence or intimate partner violence, whatever you want, we are inclusive of all genders. So we do accept male clients with children. We are totally inclusive to our trans community. We take single folks, we take families. So really the only requirement is a history of domestic violence. We used to see that it was an acute sort of situation. This person's actively fleeing a dangerous situation. More and more with the changing dynamics in California, we have found, individuals and families who are maybe homeless for a longer term ultimately because of domestic violence. And so we are certainly available to serve those folks. We've tried to be more open to the fact that that's the reality of what we're looking at as a society right now. So we've kind of opened our doors. We take youth with their parents of all ages. So we don't have any restrictions on children over a certain age. We have taken multi-generational families where maybe grandparent was living in the home where there was violence. They come on in. Families look different.
Yeah.
They're all shapes and sizes, and we really just want people to be safe.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Services of Tulare County has been doing, HIV work since the epidemic started, right? And
Absolutely.
I know it's a passion of yours. And can you tell folks that that use those services, or even the public, like who doesn't know what's offered, what there is for folks living with HIV, and the assistance programs that you have in place, and how they might access those if they can't see their caseworker?
Sure. So we operate a few different services for folks who are living with HIV or AIDS, and we work closely with public health to receive referrals about that, but anyone really can contact us to get more information. Like I said, we should be back online and more accessible on Tuesday through our regular channels. But as for now, if anyone's needing assistance, they can easily email. It's programs with an S, programs at fstc.net, and we will get you hooked up with someone in our supportive housing who oversees our HIV and AIDS services. We are able to help with emergency rent, emergency utility payments, food vouchers. If folks need, gas vouchers to get to medical appointments, we can assist with transportation. We have done hotel vouchers. It's really, the emphasis is that safe housing piece and those basic needs piece. We do also do counseling services, and right now we're working out how best to serve people through telehealth. But again, my hope is that we will be checking in with those folks online next week.
Well, thank you. That's great, and I'll put all of the information that we're sharing here in the comments.
Awesome.
And I do have one last question about. So I've been asking everybody this: are you binging something on Netflix? If not, what are you reading?
Okay, I'm doing a little of both because while I'm in the office today, I am primarily been working from home, and I have 3 children. I am being a terrible mom. I finally succumbed and am allowing my teen and preteens to watch Stranger Things. So, there's
What's wrong with that?
There's a lot of cursing.
Oh, okay. All right.
There is a lot of cursing. It's a little scary. I had already seen the series, so I guess I'm like re-binging it because they're super into it, and I feel like a bad mom because I normally wouldn't let them watch that, but it's like
Oh
They
no, they're all
do.
gonna
They're
be talking like those
desperate.
kids now.
I know my 12-year-old son could not be more awkward in the kissing scenes between the kids. So
Oh yeah,
I take comfort in that we're not quite there yet, but they're enjoying it. And I'm also reading. So on a complete
good.
opposite note, I'm reading Dare to Lead by Brene Brown
Oh,
because I like balance.
yeah, that's great.
Stranger Things, Brene.
Well, thanks, Katie, for taking the time today to chat with us.
I
And we'll
appreciate it.
any I don't know, self-care tips you have for folks, like something you really like to do.
Well, yesterday I definitely unplugged from media for a little bit. I know that's super hard right now when things are just coming fast and furious, but I think we've been fortunate to have beautiful weather for the most part, and I know the rain's coming again next week. So take a chance to get outside and take a walk if you can. That fresh air is definitely renewing in some ways. So we hope that folks will, take care of themselves and stay safe more than anything.
Awesome. Well, stay safe.
Thank you, you too. Stay
Enjoy
healthy.
Stranger Things, and we'll talk soon. Thanks for your time.
Okay. Thank you. Talk to you later.